Good morning, everyone. So, today we will be talking about professionalism, and development. So, before going into details, let us first know and have these questions on our minds. What it means to be professional, or why is professionalism important? And in our chosen careers, how do we develop ourselves to become the best that we can be? So, we will be answering those questions later on. Now, let us first differentiate these two terms, professional and professionalism. So, professional, so we are very familiar with these terms because most of us are professionals. Okay, some of us are teachers, some are doctors, nurses, and so on. Now, professionalism is the character or the standards expected of a professional. All right, so professionalism goes beyond your ability to do the job. Professionalism, it's not the job you do, it's how you do the job. Okay, so let us first define what is professional. Professional refers to anyone who earns their living from performing an activity that requires a certain level of education, skill, or training. It requires standard of competency, knowledge, or education that must be demonstrated as well as adhering to the codes of conduct and ethical standards. So, it means it requires competency. It, com- it requires knowledge. Okay? So, when we talk about being competent, we have the necessary ability or we have the necessary knowledge or skill to do something successfully. Alright, so I hope the definition of professional is clear. Now, as professionals, we have this professional standards, alright? Different professions have different set of standards. Like teachers, they adhere with the PPST or the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. Okay, so professional standards are set of practices, ethics, and behaviors that members of a particular professional group must adhere. Okay, take note. So, who establishes these professional standards? Okay, these standards are frequently agreed by a governing body that represents the interest of the entire group. Okay, so for example, one of the professional standards is the accountability. Okay, professional took a full responsibility for their actions. Right? The next is confidentiality. Professionals are expected to keep all sensitive information private from those who shouldn't have an access to it. Okay? So, for medical practitioners, they have this term patient confidentiality. So, the National Health Act makes it an offense even to divulge information about health service users without the consent of patients. So, as we can observe, during this pandemic, the only details that we get with a COVID positive patient is only the gender and the age. Okay, so the location is not even exact. All right. So next is fiduciary duty. Okay, so places the needs of the clients before their own. Okay, so as professionals, we are expected to put clients' interest ahead of our own. Okay, next is the honesty. This is very self-explanatory that as professionals, we must be truthful with our words and actions. Next is integrity. We must have a strong moral principle. Keep your word. If you want to establish a solid reputation, you must deliver your promises. Next is law abiding. Follows all governing laws. We must obey the law and follow the processes. Next is the loyalty. Remain as professionals, we have to remain committed to our profession, despite and in spite of the trials and difficulties and hardships, because we made a vow to our profession. The oath that we uttered, we must remain loyal to it. Next is the product objectivity rather, not swayed or influenced by biases. In making decisions, we must base it on hard facts, all right, and evidence, not the personal judgment. Okay, so though our role and task may be the same or different, demonstrating professionalism can set us apart from others. It gives us an edge. Okay, so now we go to what is professionalism? It is predominantly an attitude. How do you do your job? How do you behave? And how you come across as you interact with others. Okay, so it implies pride in work and a commitment to equality and dedication. That is according to David Meister 2006. Okay, so now we go to the keys to professionalism in a workplace. Okay, first is the character counts. Okay, so it is very essential. Attitude is all that matters. Okay, next is the pursuit of excellence. Okay, we have to constantly striving for improvement. Okay, next is the competence. We stay on top of the latest news, development, and innovations in their line of work. And the code of conduct, we must exercise common sense and good judgment. Also with the energy and attitude. Okay, chooses optimism in the face of adversity. Next is professional development. How do we develop ourselves to become more professional? Okay, so professional development is a systematic process that strengthens how professionals obtain and retain knowledge, skills, and attitude. Okay, so in the learning or in the professional development process, we reflect, we plan, we learn, and then we evaluate, and then reflect again, plan again, learn, and evaluate. That is the cycle of how do we develop our professional career. Okay, so the first thing you do is you self-analyze or you reflect. Okay, this is where you identify where you are right now. Okay, so what are your professional assets and strengths that you want to enhance, or what are your professional liabilities and weaknesses that you want to eliminate? So that is reflect, self-analysis. And when you are done with this step, next step would be goal setting. Okay, where you want to go. Okay, it must be holistic goal setting. Okay, looking at your whole life and how your career works with it. Okay, next is research. What you need to do, what's truly involved in achieving your goals. You have to read a lot, you have to research a lot. Okay, next is the execution, the doing part. You do it now. Okay, so the best thing you need in this process is the support system. It can be your friends, it can be from your families, or it can be from your loved ones. Okay, you do need support system here. Okay, next is the evaluate. Okay, does it make a difference? Is there a change of my professional career? Okay, so you analyze and interpret results. Okay, and after that, if there are some missing or there are some gaps, you make revisions if your goals are not achieved. Okay, so the how to is not enough. Okay? You must take action.